Alright, we're just a couple minutes away here from the start of the game. It's NLTP, 4 O's of the ApocEllipse versus the Capaliers. This is a presentation by Ron Sponson TV. As of right now, I'm going to be commentating by myself, but if anyone's listening that would like to join me, feel free to message me on Mumble. Alright, sorry about those first few seconds of the game here. We had a couple technical difficulties, but I think I've got everything sorted out now and we're all set. Kreese has a nice grab, but he almost had everyone beat there. A nice return by Puggins. Jake Pro's got 3 to beat, though. It's going to be difficult. He also has the spike to beat. Room for Seconds, a nice job getting out. Dubai with the tag pro. Room for Seconds has 1 to beat. Overe's going to try to set up a block. And Puggins with a nice button. Alright, second round of power-ups here. Jake Pro's able to get a rolling bomb. Kreese has a juke juice. Room for Seconds with the grab. Unable to get past logic. Oh, a nice snipe by Dubai. And Sub-Zero's coming in here. Jake Pro's got a rolling bomb. Flaccid grab leaves just 3 to beat for Sub-Zero. Oh, nice moves by Dubai, and a good block by Sub-Zero. He's going to try coming to 1, but Logic's got the button. Sub-Zero with the flag pro, he's going to get a nice out. Good decision going back on 1 there. Kreese has that take pro in the base, so it's going to be very difficult for Sub-Zero to cap. Take pro expires, so he's got a little bit better of a chance here. Oh, some nice moves, but Puggins was able to get the return. Dubai's going to pick up a Juke Juice. That should be helpful as he tries to cap. He's got a nice lane open 4. And Kree's able to get the return. See if Sub-Zero can pull some moves to get out here. And not quite. Dubai, though, he's able to get out with a Juke Juice. He's past 2. He's got 2 to beat. Trying to set up the blocks. He's trying to go around the outside. Kree's sitting on that button. He's blocked out. Oh, this is a very close one. The rolling bomb defused. And Dubai is able to get the cap. That's first cap to the Capaliers with a 1-0 lead. And a nice snipe by Room for Seconds. So some nice patience for the flight carrier for the Capaliers. Let's see who that was. Dubai. He did a really good job just waiting for the situation to open itself up for him to be able to walk the cap in. Well, I guess he wasn't walking in, and it was pretty highly contested, but he still had quite a bit of patience to be able to bring that in. Logic's going to pick up a Tag Pro. Let's see what he can do with that. Looks like he's going to take it on D. And it looks like the Capaliers are playing some good no-grab defense, and it's going to be very difficult for 4-0s to be able to cap here. They had a couple of flaccid, so it would have been a nice opportunity, but they're unable to get out of the base with the flag. And Overy, speaking of good opportunities, is coming in with the Tag Pro. No offensive partner is able to make it there in time, though. Kree's with a nice grab. He's got 2 to beat here. Puggins setting up a block. Sub-Zero there to make the return. Jag Pro's on a regrab. Dubai's trying to get out of base. Some nice moves by Dubai. He's going to be able to pick up a rolling bomb. It's going to get diffused pretty quickly, and now he's trapped. That was probably not a good decision in hindsight. Looks like there's a... Ooh, Overy. If Overy didn't make that return, it probably would have been an easy cap. Good return by Overy. That 2 lanes, very difficult to get out. It's probably one of the most closed off lanes besides 1. Kree's using the Juke Juice effectively. Dubai getting out. We might have a kiss. No kiss. And both teams are able to line up regrabs. Kree's does have the rolling bomb. Now he might want to go for that kiss. Unable to get it still. Dubai again with that patience. He's perfectly fine staying in the right-hand side of the map if there's not a capping opportunity. And that really shows some disciplined patience there. Especially, it looks like we had 2 players from the 4-0s sitting in both the chokes in the enemy base, but since Dubai didn't feel any pressure, he was just going to sit over there. Kree's has got a grab and Sub-Zero as well. Kree's better not die here. It'll be a cap for a second cap for the Capaliers. And he's able to pick up the rolling bomb. He might not be able to get out though, and he does get out, but he has to deploy the rolling bomb. Ooh, a nice Tag Pro in the middle. Puggins able to pick it up. That should be helpful for Kree's, although he's actually just going to chase with it. I don't know if that's the best option for that Tag Pro. Let's see if he can lead Jag Pro out. Nice return, but then Overy again able to cut off the exit via lane 2. Puggins and Logic working the contain, and it was successful. Kree's able to pick up that Juke Juice. We'll see what he can do with it. There's also a juke juice left. I don't know if Kreese will pick that up as well. Yep, he's going to try to re-up it. And now it barely beats Ovary there. Nice button by Room for Seconds. That's going to nullify a large portion of that juke juice. Although Kreese may be able to get the Tag Pro, and that'll be helpful, certainly. See if Jake Pro waits for Kreese to get there. And he does. Kreese able to make some nice, a nice grab by Kreese. He takes advantage, and that's going to be a cap if everything goes as planned. That's going to tie the game up. That was a really good grab by Kreese, able to use his invincibility period to get the defender out of the way. Couple that with a flash set by the Capaliers, and that set up for an easy walk-in cap. Kreese is going to have difficulty getting out of here. Dubai's coming in. He's got a couple beats, so this could be a good chance for Dubai. He's got a clean boost outside lane, and no one was there by the flag, and that's going to be a second cap, an immediate answer by the Capaliers. The score being 2-1. Another nice button by Room for Seconds. We got a rolling bomb on the right-hand side. I don't know if anyone sees it. Kreese barely ahead of Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero might try to take that boost outside as Kreese gets on the button. There's a Take Pro in the mid that'll be very helpful for whoever can get that first. They're just concentrating on the return though. Dubai's got a rolling bomb. This also will be very helpful. Puggins unsure whether or not to chase or go for the Take Pro. He ends up going for the Take Pro. If he can beat Dubai there, he'll be able to clear out a lot of the defense. Alright, and the time's going to wind itself down here. It's 2-1 lead, early lead by the Capaliers, and looking at these stats here, looks like we got a little bit of hold time. Both teams pretty even as far as returns as well. I think power-ups are probably the big story here. I guess the other thing to call it too, Dubai did a couple really excellent job being patient when he had the flag, really waiting for those capping opportunities to open themselves up. Alright, and the players right now are just working out a server switch, so it'll be probably just a minute or two, and then we'll resume with half 2 of game 1. Alright, we've got the players taking their spots here for the second half of the first game. It looks like for the Capaliers, they're going to keep the same starting lineup. Sub-Zero, Ovary, Room for Seconds, and Dubai. We're going to see a And looking at the 4 O's of the Apocalypse, looks like they're going to have a little bit of a change up here. They're going to have Seven, Trapson, Danny, and Puggins in for the second half. Well, we're just waiting for the final readies from both teams, and we'll be kicking things off. Let you guys have a little peek here at the in-game chat. Looks like there's a little bit of rousing going on. Yeah, I think the red team is ready. I think we're still just waiting for the okay from blue. Okay, last minute substitution for the 4 O's of the Apocalypse. Looks like they'll be tossing in Sunball. His name is actually Rimsucker, and I believe this will be his NLTP debut, as he was recently acquired by the 4 O's of the Apocalypse as a free agent. Burgard asks in the chat if NLTP does two maps a week. If so, what the other map is. And actually, NLTP is doing 1 map a week this season. And the reason he's asking that is MLTP typically does 2 maps each season, and they'll split the games between the 2 different maps. I I believe Miners is probably the same way as well. Alright, looks like blue team is getting the final okay here, and we should be ready to go. Oh, and it looks like we forgot to switch colors, so we might have to restart the second half here.
3, 2, 1.
After all that wait, looks like we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Alright, now we should be ready to go. It looks like there's going to be 2 Tag Pros and a Juke Juice. And it appears Capaliers are going to be able to get the first Tag Pro, and the second one's going to be contested over. Danny's going to be able to pick it up. So we got a Tag Pro for each team and 7 with a Juke Juice. Seven making a clean grab. Dubai is going to wait behind that boost to try to get ahead. He's unable to do so. And now he does get ahead. Lining up a snipe. Overy coming in quick for the return. Now I think Danny's going to want to take his time here to be, so that 7 can get lined up on the re-grab. Let's see if he gives him enough time. 7's just kind of stalling out in the middle of the map. I'm not sure what the strategy is here. And the return happens before 7's able to get the re-grab, although it looks like he's going to be able to still get it before Overy comes back. Danny waiting on the mid-pup. Dubai is making a little work here. Some nice blocks by Sub-Zero to open up a way for Dubai to get out. He's going to use that boost effectively. Danny's picking up a re-grab with the Juke Juice. Ooh, some nice moves by Room for Seconds. He's past 2. Let's see what he can do. Overy setting up some blocks. 7 sitting in front, and all 4 players are in front of him. Danny with a grab. Unable to get out. That leaves just 3 to beat. Now he's only got 2 to beat. Just 1 to beat. 7's getting blocked out, and that's going to be a nice cap for Room for Seconds. Cumulative score of 3-1. And Sub-Zero's got the re-grab coming in hot, but Danny's able to get the return. And looks like both teams are able to reset here. Room for Seconds coming in with a rolling bomb. Able to get a nice grab out of it. Trapson lining up the snipe. Nice stutter step by Room for Seconds. And again, he's got some nice moves. And Room for Seconds almost able to make the cap, but Danny comes in and steals the flag last minute. Room for Seconds is just going to retreat then and wait for an opening. Looks like he might have one here. He's going to boost outside, and 7 there to make the last minute grab. And he will be able to get out of the base thanks to a nice block by Rimsucker. Trapson's got the return. This could set up a nice easy cap here for 4-0s. And it does, and now the cumulative score 3-2. The gap is tightening slightly here for the Capaliers, especially with Danny coming in with a regrab. Luckily, the Capaliers seem to have 3 in front of him, and they almost box him into the number 2. He tries to go 1 and Sub-Zero with a nice button. Seven, nice grab using that boost to get out. He's going to try to get out 2 over. He might be able to cut that off. He's not. He's going to go for 1. Can they keep Dubai off? They can, and 7 almost comes in for the cap. A rolling bomb is diffused, pushes him out of the way, and prevents what looked like a sure cap. Danny doesn't care. He's coming in, and he's going to set the score straight, and he's able to make a cap, tying the game up 3-3. 7's got the regrab. A nice regrab train set up here for 4-0s of the ApocEllipse. 7 needs to wait a little bit because Danny's going to pick up a Tag Pro before he tries to go 0. So 7's just waiting as much as he can so Danny can get on that regrab. Nice patience by 7. Dubai's, meanwhile, has passed a couple, and they might kiss. They do. Danny going Flag Pro. That Tag Pro is essentially rendered useless now. And they might set up a kiss. They do. 7 was not able to get on the regrab in time, and the Capaliers are able to reset. Let's see what they're able to do with that. The game is about halfway over, or the half. Oh, some nice double return for Trapson. It's going to be very difficult for 4-0s to grab here where they're forward base. But Danny doesn't care. He's able to get out with a Juke Juice. Overy able to beat the boost. 7's got a nice handoff opportunity. Going to try to use the boost. Good job not going low as they would have been able to box him in. And he might have a clean shot going top. Unfortunately, Sub-Zero there. Oh, Sub-Zero did not go for the button. That's going to be a mistake. 7 unable to get around for a cap. Trapson a nice button there. Sub-Zero might have a nice handoff. And he does. Now 7 needs to head over for the regrab. Danny's got a rolling bomb, able to wait a little bit, but 7's still not there for the regrab. Danny might have outside lane, but Room for Seconds. Nice job getting on that button to prevent the boost up for the cap. 7 coming in. He's coming in hot. Now he's slowing down. Dubai chasing from behind. Ooh, he tries to go 1. That's a mistake. His over. He's there for the button. Dubai able to get the return. Danny with the regrab. I don't know what Trapson did there. He had him contained against the gate, and he just had to either push for the return or head back for the button. But he must have seen something else he liked, maybe the Juke Juice power-up. Dubai, a nice button, and he's able to get out. He's past 2. He's past 3. 7 needs to stay alive, or this is going to be an easy cap for the Capaliers to come out in the lead. 7 able to grab a rolling bomb, so he's going to be able to stay alive for a little bit. It's diffused, though, so you might not have too much longer, although now 4-0s are able to set up the regrab. 7 with some nice moves. Sub-Zero set on the regrab for the Capaliers. Nice return for both teams. Sub-Zero, a nice clean grab, able to get out 3. He's past 3. Danny's got to stay alive, or it will be a cap for the Capaliers. He needs a couple more seconds, and he's able to squeeze them out. We've got just under 2 minutes here, and the game is tied up 3-3. Ooh, 7's got a nice grab, but he's not going to be able to get out 1. Traps and able to get the return. Both teams are going to be able to reset here. We've got a minute and a half remaining. Looks like Burgard is calling out in the stream, Danny having some clutch jukes, and yeah, he really had to hold on to that flag there. And he had some nice jukes when it counted. Room for Seconds is going to get a nice block by Sub-Zero, able to get the cap. And now the Capaliers are in the lead 4-3 with just a minute left. 4-0s are going to have to do something quickly if they want to get something done. Danny's going to get past 2. He's past 3. There's 1 to beat. Room for Seconds. Rimsucker's there for the block. Sub-Zero actually had him beat. A grab there by Room for Seconds, and they didn't get the return in time. A nice job by the Capaliers. Dubai doing a few jukes here. Everyone's looking at eyeing at that Tag Pro in the corner of their eyes, and Overy decides that she's going to grab it. We've got 30 seconds left. Danny with a nice grab, setting up the handoff with the rolling bomb. Trapson has to deploy it before he's able to get out of base, and that's going to set up another cap for the Capaliers. This should finish the game here. It will be 5-3. Capaliers in the lead. We've got 15 seconds. There's still time for something to happen, but not enough time for the outcome to change. Oh, some nice jukes by Dubai. He's got 6 seconds. I don't know if he can make it to the flag in time. And as the clock rolls down, the game is going to end with 5-3. Capaliers ending up getting the clutch victory there with the final 2 caps in the final 2 minutes. This time, Room for Seconds with 2 caps on the half. He definitely had some nice grabs, some nice jukes. We're also seeing some good jukes by Danny on the opposing team as well. Boombox is kind of a contained map, closed, and you definitely need to be able to juke to be able to hold on to the flag long enough to cap. So that's good to see both those players getting some nice jukes in there. Well, that'll do it for the first game. We've got one more coming up. I think we might have another server change for the second game. So just hang tight, and we'll be resuming play with the second game of the Capaliers versus 4-0s of the ApocEllipse in just a moment. In case you missed it, the results of the first game, Capaliers able to pull the W with a lead of 5-3. Well, it looks like we're staying on the same server. Speaking of the same, looks like Capaliers are sticking with the same starting lineup. Sub-Zero, Ovary, Room for Seconds, and Dubai. Looks like there's a little change on the 4-0's team. We've got Trapson, Danny, Rimsucker, and it looks like Kreese is going to hop in.
Three, two, one.
Oops, I think I was on mute there with my commentary. Sorry for the lapse. We saw a nice play by Room for Seconds preventing the cap. Even though they had a Take Pro lead, Room for Seconds was barely able to beat Kreese to the button. Yeah, and as Burger points out, that looked like it was going to be a quick cap there to start the game, but really good job by Room for Seconds being able to beat him to the button by just a split hair. Danny's coming in with a rolling bomb, but it looks like the Capaliers have 2 tag pros. It's going to be very difficult for Danny to cap, and he wisely backs up. Danny had a rolling bomb, and it looks like it ran out now. He's doing some nice evasion with the boost. Sub-Zero evading pretty well as also, and they're able to get reset. Not so for the 4-0s, and Room for Seconds is out with the regrab. Although, it looks like the Capaliers unable to set up a regrab. They're going to get a cap here. That's a great job by Room for Seconds going outside. But the 4-0s are able to reset. The Capaliers were using the extra offensive player to set up some of those blocks for the cap. Looks like it paid off, but they're going to have a reset in momentum as the 4-0s were able to reset because of it. Nice grab by Room for Seconds. He's got Juke Juice. He's got 3 beat potentially, but Dubai comes in, boosts into his own teammate, and now he's got none beat. Oh, that was an unfortunate boost by Dubai. Danny's going to have some trouble getting past Ovary. Good positioning by Ovary. Kreese with the regrab. He's not going to be able to get out one. Ooh, a nice grab by Room for Seconds. He's got 2, potentially 3 beat. He's going to come in 1. Sub-Zero and Ovary setting up the blocks. Room for Seconds trying to get above, and Danny able to prevent that somehow. He's able, I don't know if he got the grab in first or the return first, but Danny, a clutch play to prevent the cap. Looks like Dubai's going to be able to get a rolling bomb. This is going to be very close. Trapson, very good decision to grab there, as had he not, Dubai would have been able to deploy the rolling bomb for the cap. Room for Seconds making a grab with a Juke Juice. Interesting turn of events there. Looks like Danny was trying for a kiss, but Room for Seconds was going to have none of that. And I don't know who is chasing Room for Seconds right now. It looks like Rimsucker is playing a little bit of contain, and maybe need a little more contain. Good job by Traps in cutting off the bottom. And now I'm just seeing a little bit of a reaction from the chat room after that clutch save by Danny. Everyone's pretty wowed by that. That was a very last-minute grab. I don't know how he did it. There were two players fighting for the blocks, and Danny was able to sneak in there and prevent it. Both teams have regrabs set up. Let's see what this does for the momentum. Sub-Zero's almost got 4. He's got 4 players beat. Danny needs to stay alive here. It's going to be a quick cap, and Danny almost gets capped. It's almost a cap for Danny with the return, but Room for Seconds able to make it out. That was back and forth there. That was a very interesting turn of events. Kreese with the regrab. Rimsucker going to box in the, I think that was Room for Seconds. Kreese coming up. It's a return for cap scenario for a couple seconds, and Kreese probably knew it wasn't going to come, so he turns around. Looks like, ooh, he almost gets trapped in by Sub-Zero. Some evasive maneuvers by Kreese. Somehow Sub-Zero misses him. That was brilliant moves by Kreese there. I don't know how long he can keep it up, though. He goes past Sub-Zero again. He's going up. He's gets past Ovary. We're seeing some excellent maneuvers by Kreese here. He's somehow staying alive. I don't know how much longer. They're going to try to contain him down, but he goes outside for the boost, and Room for Seconds is going to get involved. Ovary involved. Sub-Zero. Finally, with 3 players, he's able to get returned. You know those jokes where they say how many technicians does it take to change a light bulb? I think that applies in this scenario. Is how many Capaliers does it take to return Kreese? Some insane moves by Kreese. Room for Seconds with some moves of his own with that juke juice, but again, Kreese with the boost. I don't know, Kreese, I don't know if I've seen him play before, but he's him and Danny are making a really great tag team duo on offense here. A nice button by Kreese, giving Danny the grab. The 4-0s are still not on the scoreboard, but Danny's got 3 beat. He's coming up. He's just got to get past Room for Seconds. Rimsucker trying to set up a block, unable to do so, and Room for Seconds able to make the grab. Danny picking up a juke juice, not that he needs it. Let's see what he can do with it. Kreese, nice block there. Danny's past 2. Room for Seconds waiting on the boost. There's a tag pro right side. No one's going to go for it. They want to prevent Danny, and Room for Seconds misses the snipe, and that was a crucial moment, and because of that, Danny able to bring the cap in. Kreese is coming in with the regrab. There's 2 to beat. There's 2 defenders. Kreese is going to go around. He's trying to get fancy. Oh, he didn't think he had the button, so he didn't go. He's going to back up. Danny with the tag pro, that's going to be very helpful here. Room for Seconds is going to get tagged. Kreese, nice juke. He faked the boost, able to get past Ovary and come in for the second cap. And 4-0s of the ApocEllipse able to take the lead. A nice 1-2 cap there for 4-0s as they were able to keep the momentum going. And right now, I think Capaliers are just glad they're able to reset and keep the damage down to 2 caps. Looks like there's a Take Pro in their base. They're going to be able to get that. No one's going for it. Danny might be able to get it. He doesn't care. He just wants that flag, and he's going to try to get out. Dubai's going to be quick bind with the Tag Pro, so Danny's going to have to beat Dubai to the base. Danny's got 1 beat. I don't think he has Ovary beat. That boost spawn takes Dubai out of the picture for a moment. And Danny's just going to wait. I think he wants to wait for that Tag Pro to expire, so he's taking his time. While we're all waiting, Sub-Zero with a nice grab. No communication. Kreese is not on that button there, and that's going to be potentially costly. Luckily, they're able to get the return. Room for Seconds got a nice re-grab. He's got a Tag Pro lead with Dubai. I'm not sure how much longer is left on that Tag Pro. Dubai just barely misses Danny, and it's a pop for cap scenario here, but no one's near Room for Seconds, and Dubai still got that Tag Pro. He's doing a little bit of lead. The Tag Pro finally expires. Kreese positioned for the re-grab. Danny, a nice return. Sub-Zero is going to get a grab. He's going out 1, and Trapson able to get that button. Kreese has 1 to beat, just Overy. Trapson's got to set the block. Kreese almost had it. Had he been able to boost up, he'd have had the cap. Unable to get the angle. Making some brilliant moves. Kreese, he gets a nice boost. He's able to get out. There's Dubai there. Kreese is coming around the corner. I don't know how he's going to be able to do this, but a nice grab by Dubai. He's returned by Rimsucker. There's still only 3 to beat. Kreese trying to line up the boost. And he's trying to thread the needle, unable to do it, and that's going to put an end to the that attempt for the cap. But Danny's coming back in for a second one. There's 1 to beat. Nice block by Rimsucker. Danny's able to come in and finally turn it around for the cap. That's going to make it a 3-1 lead for 4-O's of the Apocalypse, as there's only 25 seconds left in the game, and 4-O's are going to try to come back for another one. Kreese has got 2 beat. He's got a juke juice. Sub-Zero able to make a last second grab. Kreese better slow down because Sub-Zero is past 3. Rimsucker's coming in to cut him off. It's a return for cap situation. Unable to get the return, and both players returned. We've got 7 seconds left. I don't think either players are going to be able to make it, and that's going to be the end of the first half with a score of 3-1, 4-O's in the lead. Looking at the returns here, Rimsucker, some excellent returns, 13 returns, and let's look here. Danny and Kreese, look at Kreese hold time, 3 minutes and 51 seconds of hold time. That's nearly double what everyone was averaging in the last game. Excellent job by Kreese with those jukes. Danny had some nice jukes, and unfortunately for the Capaliers, there was a nice regrab train set up, and they had a little bit of trouble being able to stop that. It's pretty difficult to reset on this map with so many different lanes going through, and yeah, with those incredible offensive carries, 4-0 is able to come with the lead in the first half. But as we've seen, that doesn't mean much. There's still another 10 minutes of play here, and it could certainly go anyone's way. All you need is a nice regrab train here. Looks like we're up for another server switch before we go for the second half. Yeah, and Burgard in the chat is pointing out too that the Capaliers did a great job preventing caps despite all that hold time. I mean, there was just a lot of hold time for the 4-0s, but not that many more caps. Only 2 extra caps ahead of them, so there's definitely some great defensive efforts. I know Overy's been doing a really great job tonight, cutting off some routes. Overy's doing some really good chasing on that. Dubai's doing some excellent work as well. Room for Seconds getting some great returns and grabs also. So we're seeing some great play on both sides of the aisle tonight. It'll be very interesting to see how the second half turns out. Looks like we might be making a few switches again for 4-0s of the Apocalypse. So far it looks like Danny and Kreese are going to be staying in. I think they made a great potent combo the first half, so I think that's a good decision for them to stay in. Puggins is sitting in, and looks like they're trying to work out his defensive partner. And it looks like it's going to be Trapson coming in for a little bit of defensive help. And not much new for the Capaliers. We're seeing the same starting lineup. It's going to be Overy, Dubai, Room for Seconds, and Sub-Zero. And they had some pretty good teamwork themselves, so I think it's probably helpful that they're playing together coming into the second half of the game here. We're moments away from starting. Just looking for a map. Just a recap for anyone who is joining us. The first game went to the Capaliers. I believe the final score was 5-3. And here we are in the second game. We're starting the second half. And it looks like they missed the color switch, so we're going to head back to group. Which is good because I'm still getting my scoreboard set up, so. Anyone correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the score going into the second half here is 3-1 with 4 O's in the lead. And we're about ready to kick off for the second half of the second game. It's 4 O's of the ApocEllipse versus the Capaliers. NLTP season, I think it's season 4? I'm not sure about the season, but it's week 3. We're playing Boombox. And this is a B game. We've got some really good matchups. Looks like we're going to start out with 3 rolling bombs. That's going to be very interesting. Let's see what the offenses can do. Middle, a nice grab by Kreese. It's diffused immediately, and both teams are still left with 1 rolling bomb. Let's see what they're able to do. Dubai is going to make a nice grab for it. Rolling bomb diffused by Traps, and Dubai's out past 2. Danny's out as well. I didn't quite see how the rolling bomb worked out. He's going to get returned. And Dubai able to split Trapson and Puggins. I don't know. Oh, and he sneaks past Trapson. Oh, Dubai with some excellent moves of his own. Kreese is going to get out past 2. A nice return by Traps, and there's only 1 beat. Sub-Zero, he's going to make the grab. Are Puggins and Trapson going to be able to get to him in time? They're not! And Room for Seconds able to get the return. Oh, a nice button by Trapson. Room for Seconds, a nice regrab. A good juke to get past Puggins. Puggins is coming up quick behind, though. And there's a rolling bomb mid. Danny's going to want to go for it. Unable to get it. And because of that, he's returned. Kreese, a nice grab with the juke juice. Let's see if that juke juice helps him get out. And it does. He's able to get out 3. He's past 2. Room for Seconds. Some nice moves. He's not getting returned. Danny comes sailing by. Dubai lining up the snipe. Kreese heads back. Trapson is mentioning he's getting some leg spikes. Sub-Zero, a nice grab. He's still got 3 to beat. Puggins coming in quickly. Sub-Zero, nice wall bounce and break check to get past Puggins. Puggins narrowly misses. Sub-Zero with the boost, and Danny comes in with the button. Jukeball Hero calling time, but the flag's out. They need to play through the whistle. Both flags are out, so I hope that both players play through the play here. It looks like they are. Kreese returned. Room for Seconds gonna not get a rolling bomb. All they need to do is get this return for the timeout to count. I think Room for Seconds is gonna take his time knowing that. Sub-Zero should get off a regrab. I don't know why Sub-Zero's sitting on regrab here. It's been established that there's gonna be a timeout coming, so Sub-Zero should be back helping his team try to get the cap. Because if there's 2, once that flag is returned, it's a timeout. So he's doing absolutely nothing sitting in there on regrab. He must have missed the memo on that one. Room for Seconds. He's got a tag pro. That could line up the cap. He's got 3. And Room for Seconds does get the cap regardless of Sub-Zero not being there to help. Nice clutch cap there. It's going to put the score to 3-2. Yeah, there seems to be just a little bit of miscommunication on the timeout call. The way, for any viewers here that don't know the rules, timeouts can be called to make subs in NLTP, but you have to wait until both flags are returned to base before the timeout actually will take effect, to prevent anyone taking advantage of it. So the timeout was called, but both flags were out. 4-0's flag was returned, and basically they just needed to return the Capaliers, and then the game timeout would have taken place. So I suppose had they had their flag carrier gotten returned first, then the regrab would have actually been helpful. So I will take that back. It still could have been helpful to get a regrab, although their flag hadn't been returned first. In that case, as soon as the 4-0's flag was returned, the Capaliers, all 4 should have been back to line up blocks for the Cap, because a regrab's going to do nothing at that point. Once their flag carrier's down, the timeout would have taken effect. Unless, of course, the 4-0s are able to get a grab. So it's still maybe a wash, but anyways, in the end, it didn't matter. They were able to come in for the Cap, and that was a nice tag pro that opened up the Cap there. All right, we're starting off the second half here. The score is 3-2, cumulative score. 4-0's in the lead, and there's only 7 minutes remaining. Oh, I'm getting some leg spikes here. Sorry, guys. We're getting a little bit of loss. I don't know if anyone else is. This might have been what the problem was to begin with. We'll see shortly if anyone else is having any issues, but my ping is spiking to 400. We're getting 10% loss. It's going to look like everyone's juke. Everyone. Puggins has left the group. I hope they call time. Everyone is legging out. The entire 4-0's team has legged out. And look at that. Almost all players have legged out. Overease coming up, and all 8 players are legging out. Origin. Oh, whoa, maybe they're not. Whoa. I don't know what's happening. I can't call this. Dubai looks like he's got some insane jukes right now. That's all I can say. And Dubai going straight through a spike. Well done for Dubai. Sorry, guys. There's not much I can do here. Oh, Dubai. I don't know what to believe anymore. Overy with the teleportation return. I don't know if you guys saw that lucky spammer versus unfortunate sniper game, but that's what that just looked like there for that return from Overy. Danny using the leg for his advantage to get a nice grab here. Things might be settling down on the leg. My ping looks like it's resetting to normal level. Loss is still up there, but I think that might get fixed soon too. So I think we're ready to see some actual play now. Sorry for the problems here, but looks like Origin was having some issues with lag spikes. Dubai, some nice moves, unable to get past Puggins, a little overcommit there, and Dubai's going to be able to take advantage of that, get out. He's past 2. Kree's going to try to get the button. Overy with the block. Dubai's coming 2. Puggins trying to get the return. And Danny's trying to set up a snipe. Puggins lets off, and then Dubai gets escaped. Oh, and a nice return by Puggins. Danny, a nice grab. He's past 3. They just need a return by Sub-Zero. Maybe he's not past Dubai. No, he's not. Good job by Dubai. All right, Sub-Zero's just got 1 to beat. Room for second, setting up the blocks. Danny able to come in with the juke juice and get the return. Dubai's got a nice regrab. Kree's coming up with the juke juice. Puggins able to get the return. There's another juke juice on the right side. Kreese or Danny might re-up it. Otherwise, one of the Capaliers might go for it, but they're both pretty heavily engaged. No one's going for that juke juice. Kreese doesn't need it. He's got one of his own. He's coming. He's past 2. He's going to come 2. He's going to stick around Dubai. Puggins a rim sucker with the nice blocks to set up for the cap for Kreese. It is a 4-2 game. 4-0's Apocalypse in the lead. Danny's got the regrab. Sub-Zero, an excellent snipe. And almost some good moves getting out by Dubai. He got almost split him. Kreese a nice move of his own, getting past Dubai and Overy. Danny's getting the regrab set up. Kreese has 1 to beat. He's going to go 2. He needs the block. He's unable to get it. Sub-Zero, good job closing the gap. Danny's got the regrab. He's going to set out. Kreese trying to head up for the regrab, and Room for Seconds almost gets a return. He does get the rolling bomb, deploys it to push Kreese closer to the flag. I don't know if that was what he was going for with that deploy. Kreese calls out an incoming rolling bomb, says never mind, as the rolling bomb was used to deploy a 4-0 player towards the flag. Luckily, no grab came out of it. Rimsucker taking care of both. No, he doesn't. Sub-Zero, nice grab. He's out 2. He's past 2. He's coming in 3. He might try to go outside. Kreese is there to prevent it. Dubai gets a clean regrab. Let's see what he can do. There's 4 to juke. We've seen him juke earlier today, so we know he can do it. He jukes 2. Danny with the grab. It's a return for cap scenario. Kreese coming up for the block. Danny is almost past 4. Room for Seconds has him beat narrowly, and a good grab by Room for Seconds. Danny, nice job getting out of there. Puggins is going to cut it off, though. Kreese, a nice regrab. Kreese is going to have rolling bomb. We don't have anyone on regrab. Danny's probably wants that Tag Pro. He's willing to sacrifice a regrab for it. Almost a return. It was a return for cap scenario, but Kreese had that rolling bomb. Sub-Zero can't get past the spikes. Danny's got to get Overy beat. Danny just needs to get Overy. Kreese has to get past Overy for the cap. Now Room for Seconds is up there now. Kreese has 1 to beat. Rimsucker's trying to set up a block. Puggins coming in, and Kreese needs to go around. Sub-Zero coming in, but unable to get in time, and Kreese gets the second cap of the half. That's going to be 5-2 for 4-0s. Danny coming in with the regrab. Room for Seconds has it, and a nice return for cap as Room for Seconds. A nice quick answer for the Capaliers, and this is a 2-1 half, or a 4-3 overall game. 1 more cap, and it's going to be tied for the Capaliers. Rimsucker trying to make a grab. He's going to have trouble getting out. He doesn't get out. Sub-Zero almost in. Danny making the last-minute save. Dubai's got a nice regrab. He's past 2. It's a return for cap scenario. Luckily, Danny got a rolling bomb. No one's able to get the button. He's returned. Danny's got 1 to beat. He's got a rolling bomb. Deploys it. Pushes him into the spike. Brilliant deploy by Danny. Danny's going to be able to come up and walk it in for a 3rd cap of the half, making it 6-2. 4-0's the Apocalypse. Wow, we've had some really good back and forth plays. Cap by 4-0s, followed by immediate cap by Capaliers, and 4-0's able to make another cap to end the game 6-3. Not nearly as much hold time that time. I don't know what that has to say because there were many more caps. I think that just means that the defense got out of position with that regrab more often, and we just saw quicker caps. A very exciting end to that game here. Second game. It looks like 4-0s of the Apocalypse are going to come ahead with the W for a final score of 6-3. For any that missed the first game, Capaliers were able to pull out the win. The final score is 5-3. Great game by both. We had a very exciting end to that second game. Some brilliant plays. We saw a lot of great jukes from both sides, both teams tonight. Some great chasing by Overy. Brilliant jukes by Dubai. Danny and Kreese making a nice power combo on offense. And the Capaliers were having some great offensive hold times as well. It was all around a very exciting game to watch. Thank you guys for watching. This has been a presentation from Ron Sponson TV. I will see you guys next week.